For many nights across a decade, a man chose to sleep in the forest. No tent, no sleeping bag, no walls. His name is Thich Minh Tue, and he slept better than you did. This is the 7th of the 13 ancient original practices he follows. Ranika, the practice of living only in the forest. Ranika is not about nature, not about fresh air or bird song. It's about removing the final hiding place. In the last episode, we talked about the hegemonicon, the inner observer, the part of you that watches, without being moved. But here's what I didn't say then. The observer can still hide. It hides behind comfort, behind warmth, behind the belief that you need one more thing before you're okay. The forest removes all of that. Between what the man believed and what the Buddha experienced, Thich Minh Tue has been living for the past decade.
Con chào thầy. Có duyên quá.
Rồi nhưng mà bây giờ con muốn học cái cao thượng hơn, học cái mà người đời khó làm được, như chẳng hạn như bỏ dâm dục, bỏ tất cả những trò cố gắng để mình học tập, để mình vươn lên cái gọi là cái thánh hạnh ấy. Đó rồi cho dù lạnh lẽo nhưng mà ở ngoài mà mình không có thèm khát, không có khởi lên cái gì là nó không có lo là nó hướng nội. Nó hướng nội là nó ngủ ngon, nó không lo, nó khắc phục.
He said he wants to learn something higher. Something most people in this world cannot do. Not just sleeping on the ground. Not just giving up the bed. The warmth. The roof. He named it clearly. Purity. The release of sexual desire. The release of all of it. Every striving toward what is called purity. The Buddha gave that man an answer he did not want to hear. The man inside, warm, behind closed doors, wrapped in comfort, cannot sleep. Not because of the cold outside, because desire never stops. And when desire rises in the night, you go looking for it. But the man in the forest, outside, in the cold, with nothing arising in the mind, turns inward. And when you turn inward, when nothing remains to want, you become what the practice points to, not pure by force, pure by the silence of desire. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, riding alone in a military tent, 170 AD. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. He wasn't describing a philosophy. He was describing where he slept. Not in the palace, in the field, with his army. Because he understood what this monk is now walking barefoot through the forests of Vietnam and 8 countries to prove. The inner citadel is not built with walls. It is what remains when all the walls are gone. But here's the part that stopped me. Thich Minh Tue doesn't describe the forest as a sacrifice. He doesn't say it's hard. He says it's calm. That word, calm, from a man sleeping on the forest floor in many countries. When you remove the possibility of craving, you remove the possibility of being driven by it. When craving disappears, the mind has nothing left to chase. And when the mind stops chasing, it turns inward. But here's where the practice becomes dangerous for the rest of us. Because you don't have to sleep in a forest to trigger this. You might be creating the exact opposite condition right now, and not even know it. Most people organize their life to minimize discomfort. Better mattress, climate control, the right amount of noise, the right amount of silence. Nothing wrong with any of that. This monk does the opposite. He chose rough ground over a bed. Celibacy over pleasure. Silence over distraction. Not because he hates the body, but because he tested something most of us have never tested, whether his peace existed before any of those things arrived. The Buddha told that man something he didn't want to hear. The warmth in your room cannot give you what you think it's giving you. because it's the wanting that's keeping you awake. Not the cold. Epictetus, a former slave, writing in 100 AD, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Thich Minh Tue went further. He didn't reduce his wants. He walked into the forest to find out if they were still there. They weren't. Here's what the Ranika practice actually does to a person. When you remove every external condition that supported your sense of peace, the quiet room, the familiar blanket, the wall between you and the night, what remains? If your peace was dependent on those things, you'll know immediately. The mind will race. The craving will rise. You won't sleep. But if the observer, the hegemonicon, has been trained, the mind turns inward. It finds the citadel, not a building, not a system of beliefs, a place inside the mind that no cold, no discomfort, no darkness can reach. That's what this monk found in the forest. Not courage, not willpower, something quieter than both, a mind that had nothing left to want. I want to ask you something. Not about forests, not about monks. The jungle doesn't test your endurance. It tests your ownership. Are you the master of your instincts, or are your instincts the master of you? Think about last night, not about the cold, about what your mind went looking for before you allowed yourself to rest. Thich Minh Tue sleeps on the ground tonight in Nepal. No wall between him and the dark, no craving between him and sleep. And the question the Buddha asked that man 2,000 years ago, the question this monk is living as an answer, is still the same. Who is sleeping better? Maybe the answer has nothing to do with the forest. Maybe it has everything to do with who is in charge, when the lights go out and the wanting begins. Next, we follow this monk into the practice that comes after the forest, a practice that asks not where you sleep, but how long you can stay awake. Not for productivity, not for discipline. For a reason, Seneca called the most important conversation a man can have with himself. Next Friday, the focus shifts, not where he rests, what he receives. Hundreds of hands, hundreds of offerings. He accepts whatever is placed into his bowl, without preference, without hesitation, without resistance. The ancient practice has a name, Dhutanga. Marcus Aurelius had a different name for the same discipline. Here is the question that will follow you until next Friday. When life places something into your hands that you did not choose, do you accept it? Or do you spend your energy resisting it? Episode 8. This monk accepts anything. If this story moved you, subscribe. Thich Minh Tue. I am documenting his entire journey.